Cath, it's so nice to have you on the podcast finally. Thank you for agreeing to be my guest today. How are you on this
Thank you for inviting.
eclipse day?
Feeling great, feeling amazing. I'm alone at home, so a lot of solitude, a lot of time to think and to breathe. So, how are you?
Busy. A lot of time with connecting with amazing people like yourself.
Great.
And carving out time for alone time as well. So Cath, you're a very special person. You know why?
Why?
not because of what you think.
Okay.
You're very special because you were the first client at Gassho Center.
Right.
Yeah, so I'll never forget that. Or maybe I forgot, then you had to remind me once, but I won't forget it again. Yeah, so I had the Wellness Center here in Cebu from 2017 to 2019. And I'll never forget actually my first meeting with you, how much you've blossomed and changed and grown. And now you're so radiant. Not that you weren't, beautiful back then, but I would describe you as you were kind of like a little bit in your shell. I don't know if you'd agree with that. But you had an intensity. I remember you weren't very willingly having any eye contact with me, which struck me. And you looked very intensely like, and I was like, interesting person. Maybe we can talk about your journey, how you ended up at the Gassho Center, first of all, which was a place of Reiki, a place of healing. And then from then on, tell us a little bit about your journey, because you have your own community. You teach Reiki now, you're a Reiki master. I mean, there's just been so much.
You know what? This morning when I woke up, there's a mirror in the bed, right? And I saw myself and I said, there's just awareness or a voice in me asking, who is Cath Plaza? Like, it's as if I woke up in this body, but somebody is waking up inside of me. And the body, Cath Plaza, and that awareness is somehow different. But that experience this morning is beautiful, rather connected to your question right now. Yeah, I remember I searched for a community in Cebu.
I was thinking about this. What words did you use in your search? I'm curious about that.
I searched for Reiki. You asked me.
How did you know about Reiki?
No, I studied MBTI. I mean, I studied psychology, quantum physics. I was curious about that things, and then forms of energy healing.
Okay.
So I
self-study.
Yeah. Sorry. Yes. Yeah, self-study.
So you bought books, read articles, stuff like that.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So, and then I know about Tai Chi, Qigong, and Reiki. So I could not find any Tai Chi, Qigong here, and I found Reiki as a guide.
Literally you would type like Tai Chi Cebu.
Right.
Reiki, Cebu. Okay, got it. And then because I'm such an SEO wizard.
Okay. So I found Gassho Center with Reiki Cebu keyword.
Yes. Okay.
And then I messaged you, and the rest happened. I remember
we had a Skype call.
I have a Skype call. You were such a snub back then. You were like super strict and everything. Yeah.
On the first call? Were you late?
No. Oh, I don't know what happened. It was kind of an intimidating call, first of all. Maybe I was intimidated. I don't know. So I was in a different mindset back then. I was, as you can tell, I was very close to myself, like very close off. I was very curious and
so it took you some courage to actually reach out, right?
How did you feel? close that
Okay.
I won't reach out. I'm a
Okay.
very
Okay.
curious, open person.
Okay.
It's just like I don't trust anyone.
But you trusted me enough to come all the way.
I trust you because of my curiosity. I was
You
curious.
didn't have a choice, in other words.
I was curious to see you, and I was curious for someone to help me, and for someone that I could talk, exchange about energy healing, someone who can guide me, someone who can answer my questions, someone who knows about what I'm going through. So that curiosity led me to you, led me to Gassho Center.
So tell us about your first Reiki experience. Do you remember?
I remembered it was relaxing. And I remember that I could hear my mind.
Okay.
So it was a time for me to be able to relax, and first that I was able to hear what I'm thinking, because sometimes I'm thinking and there's no awareness that
There's no gap.
Yes, there's no gap. That's the time that I saw the gap between what I'm thinking, that I'm actually thinking, and my body is like relaxing and twitching. I can remember that. It was
twitch, yeah. Which is actually kind of typical in a Reiki session.
Right.
When you came that first time, were you in a state of stress from work? Were you in a particular, what was your state of mind at the time? Other than the curiosity, did you have like, some people come to Reiki because they're deeply suffering, actually, right? And they've tried other classical doctors, and that didn't work. So where were you in terms of that?
I was working 12 hours a day, but I didn't recognize that as stress. Like, if you are in that state, you would not admit to yourself that you are actually stressed. Right now, if I was on that state, I was like, oh my God, life is so stressful. But when you are in that state, it's so hard to see. It's so hard to see that, oh my God, I'm actually stressed. My body is actually stressed. So I cannot say that I was suffering. I more than I would like to admit now that I was suffering back then. Now that I'm seeing it, it was suffering. But that time, there's no awareness to even understand what is suffering in the body, what is stress in the body.
But definitely, since you found that relaxation, there must have been some tension, right? To start.
Right.
With. Yeah. Okay.
After the Reiki session, but before that, there's no awareness.
Right. Which is often the case. Yeah.
It's really about curiosity. I remember I said the word, I want to find my tribe. I cannot forget that.
When did you say that?
To you during
that first encounter.
Yes. Because you said, what brought you here? Why are you here? I said, I want to find my tribe. I want to understand healing more. Because even when I was young, I already have a little bit of curiosity, or like this force in me that there's more to life, that there's higher forces in life. And I could not explain that for sure. I didn't understand the totality or wholeness of that. So it's just like slowly unfolding that, hey, I'm ready now to see my curiosity. I'm ready now to see whatever is calling me deep inside of me. And so that's the time that I kind of, let's see people. And you were the first one in Cebu.
I love that you already had that awareness that there was such a thing as finding your tribe, because again, not everyone realizes that. And some people think by default, I'm always tired, working, going to sleep, being entertained, distracted, working, and feeling isolated. Like for a lot of people, that's just life. Right. So I think it's interesting that you already had that awareness that no, there are people out there that are like me, maybe searching, that are like me, that are curious of exploring. And so I think that's really nice. So tell me a little bit from there, that first Reiki experience to your Reiki master journey. Like, how would you, what comes out to me, what stands out is your reluctance to pursue a level 3. Do you remember that? I mean, I'm sure you remember that.
Yes.
And at one point, right? And so at one point, we even had a conversation about it, or maybe more than one conversation. Like I felt very strongly that it was time for you, and it would benefit you and others, and there was something that was keeping you. There was something holding you back. Do you remember that time?
Yeah, for sure. The moment when I first had my Reiki session, then I went to Cambodia. It was such a beautiful place. I feel like I had an activation in Cambodia.
Wait a minute. You had your first Reiki session, then you went to Cambodia
Yeah.
after. Okay.
And then I feel like I had an activation, whatever is happening. And then I remember I didn't reach out to you for like 6 or 7 months. You were messaging me to attend a potluck thing. I was like, no, Joe, I don't like, it's as if like I was resisting of this call that I know I needed to go, but there's just wall in me like, no, I'm not ready. There's fear. Like, so I was creating kind of resistance and reasons and
Wait a minute, you mean you came that one time and you didn't come back for another 6 months?
6 months, yes.
That I did not remember.
And you asked me for like a Halloween potluck. I was like, no. So I came back after 6 months.
And so how did you come back? Like what made you what made you come back then?
Just contemplation that probably I'm ready. There's the fear. The fear was holding me back. And so
what was the fear?
The fear of the unknown, the fear of I don't know, the fear of like.
So the fear at that point was greater than the curiosity, than the initial curiosity.
Yes.
Okay.
So the fear of like, who are you? I'm busy with life.
Yeah.
Texting me like, no.
Oh my God.
No, sometimes when sometimes we decline on invitation that we actually need just because I don't know, there's old programming or holding us back here, whatever, a lot of things.
Okay, so that came back, and then is that when you did your first level Reiki, or?
I came back for a meditation. You had a full moon ritual. You always have full moon ceremony. Yeah. So I came back, I attended again and attended another ceremony because I was starting to open up and I feel like, oh my God, this is good. I was able, and my curiosity is being answered from people sharing, the modalities that you are bringing to the community, like spirit animals, shamanism, and that's just kind of clicking the curiosity in me and my inner experience of something that I could not put into words, and then you are putting them into words through experiences. So of course I would be there. Like, okay. So you remember I was there almost every events and ceremony you had.
Yes, that's why I'm surprised that you said there was a gap, because I didn't remember that gap. I thought like you showed up and then you showed up every day, because that happened for a lot of students. So so you had that gap where you were.
I had that thinking. I'm like, who are you?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I'm just some intimidating, harassing, foreigner. I would also
like, how dare you break my wall that I built? Like, who are you?
Oh my God, that's so funny. I can just imagine myself inviting you to potlucks, but yeah, okay.
Anyway, so I took Reiki level 1. And from when I took Reiki level 1, I already had the experience that you are telling us, but I could not fully understand what it was.
Yeah, it wasn't formalized, right?
It was like, there's just so much. I mean, there's this discussion, and my experience was different. I remember that I was telling you that I'm experiencing a lot of these things. Sometimes I would do things that I would not normally do because of Reiki 1. It has certain activations inside of me that I didn't even understand, and not in the context of Reiki. So let's just say it kind of activated a lot of modalities in me. So that's Reiki 1. And that again, curiosity that wants me to go to Reiki level 2. It's almost like I can see there's a little bit of ego and pride there that I would want to dive into Reiki level 2 because I want to understand what it is. Right?
Do you understand what it is now?
Well, I'm teaching it. So
well, that doesn't answer my question.
Yes. So that thing. And then that Reiki also was, of course, we were experiencing plant medicine, different mushroom and ayahuasca. And you were there in ayahuasca because you were so protective. Like you want to
talk about ego.
Oh, ego.
I'm like, what are you guys doing? I need
to know. What are the students doing? So you were there? And anyway, we're in a different mindset. But what's the experience? What is this interview? I don't. No, it's beautiful. It's a part of a process, So Reiki 2, and then I was practicing it religiously, and I was sharing it with people, but still there's an element of like, I can heal, that there's aspect of still ego. I can heal. And I feel like it's part of my process that I needed to go through that to understand it. And then when I'm healing, I would experience body pains and suffering. And
do you understand that where's that coming from now? Yeah.
A lot of things. And that made me laugh. But anyway. But anyway, it's a beautiful process of blossoming, and now I understand.
With a lot of shedding.
A lot of shedding off, a lot of becoming, a lot of becoming and unbecoming.
Unlearning, yeah.
Unlearning and learning. And it's just an unending experience, Even up to now, my definition of Reiki changes depending on the moment.
Oh my God, I have to share it with you about that too, but yeah.
So it's different, and it changes form. Like, for example, I'm talking to someone and I'm talking to a different person. Reiki just presents itself in different ways and form. It has structure, but the essence of it cannot be captured in any structure at all. So of course that is what is Reiki. It's evolving, ever evolving, alive consciousness. So, anyway, so when I took Reiki level 3, I wanted to drop out.
Yeah.
Remember, I
thought you were going to drop out. Yeah.
Because my experience of Reiki 2 was my body was painful. I was absorbing a lot of emotion and like all these things. I was going through my shadow period. I was going through dark night of the soul, as they call it. And I was like, why am I continuing this? Yeah. Why am I punishing myself? So I wouldn't want to drop out. And then you were like, we had a couple of conversation about it. And you heard it from a friend. I didn't tell you about that. So we were like, So we had ayahuasca together. And after that ayahuasca, it actually kind of activated that I'm ready to take Reiki level 3. So it took an ayahuasca ceremony for me to be able to go say yes, and I'm ready. So a lot have happened in that ayahuasca journey as well. To make the story short, I felt like, it's not short, it's long, but I felt like from day 1 to up to now, it's a process. There's a process of ups and downs, and sometimes entanglement, sometimes confusion, loneliness. There's bliss, of course, there's happiness, you feel like you figure things out, then you go back to not figuring things out, and then you come out like blossoming now, and even up to now to tomorrow, that's still a journey. So healing is like that. And then by the moment you come out, one day at a time, loving yourself, like tomorrow you're more kinder to yourself, more compassionate about yourself, compassionate about others, understand yourself better, or the this journey is beautiful for me. It's as if like there's planting of seeds, and then some harsh conditions are coming, and then it's growing, and then finally you're blossoming. Once you blossom, once again, that seed needs to drop and needs to die, and then there's planting once again. So that's my journey since I met you till now.
What was that realization that you had that made you decide to continue with your third level of Reiki?
My experience back then was I was at the center or the eye of God. It was that experience. And it felt like I had a mission. You know, that was the thing that kind of kept me going. But of course, right now, that's again a different realization. But God was telling that you had a mission, and that mission could be understanding and remembering who I am through the things that I do. And if I may able to help people or share with people, then that's actually just icing on the cake. But the main aspect there is, who are you? Who am I? Why am I here? And there's that cool experience in ayahuasca also, that I was able to see the inner gift of a person, you know, like, and then to be able to bring that out. I think that was super beautiful. That kind of like,
That's a nice gift. Imagine if everyone had that gift.
Yeah. So I had that. What the realization that kept me going is that this isn't about me. My life is not just about me.
Yeah.
It
It's
is
something bigger. Yeah.
something bigger than
It's about
myself.
something more. Yeah. Okay. That's beautiful. Thank you. So this was in 2019 or 18? 18, no? I think before
18, yes.
So can you talk a little bit about your journey from there? You guys had Gaia Center, and then I think now you're very active with, are you active with Ananda Marga? I saw that you received a Sanskrit name. Can you tell us about your name?
Okay, so let's begin with Gaia Center. The Gaia Center.
So I closed Gassho Center,
and then
in
Gaia
2019. Center. Yeah, and I knew that other things would sprout open, and so one of them was Gaia Center, right? Three of you guys, yeah.
Right. So the main intention was collective care. It's really about a place for us to be able to practice personally. I opened it with Amy and Michael, and also to be able to welcome like Gassho Center, like one spot where people can meet, but also we can practice. That's the intention of it. And we opened it on a Mercury retrograde. I can't remember that. And then after 2 months, I guess 1 month or 2 months, pandemic happened.
Yeah. And
then we needed to close the center. It's all beautiful how it was unfolding, even if we have to close the center. That experience needed to be there. Because without that initiative to be able to have a center and be close with Amy and Michael, and actually have the intention of creating a community, I would not be able to teach now. You know, I probably would be in the mountain meditating by myself, again, not involving myself with any other class or people. So that is something that opens me in a more collective sense, in a more community.
You mean having to run the center, you mean?
Yes, having to have the intention of having a center and meeting Amy and,
collaborating and
organizing with people and meeting other communities. So, yeah, I think that's an important part of my journey. And then we needed to close that, and then we every one of us transitioned into online. I remember having my first attunement or giving my first attunement online. It was kind of weird. I was like, what is happening? What am I doing? But then again, I had, meditate and contemplate and that, ask for divine grace. Is this happening? Of course, we're not limited by time and space. Sometimes our ego wants to limit us, restrict us in the ways that we are structuring. But that unfolded, and I'm connected with a lot of communities right now.
So tell us a bit about that.
My intention really is just to connect with teachers and healers. because I had this thought of me, if you empower empowerers, the empowerers will empower other people. So
That's beautiful.
yeah, I could not connect to a lot of people because it's just not my signature. So, but I want to be able to connect for key people like teachers and
Right.
healers and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm connected with Mata Philippines. I attend some gatherings.
What is Mata Philippines?
It's a collective community in Instagram that I actually, Princess of Maya Cacao Magic is also there.
Yeah.
Thea, it's a collective community where they mostly give like what we do. They mostly give cosmic updates. They're more astrological based or focused, and they give some shadow work and cacao ceremony, and they meet every new moon. So yeah, I'm just basically sitting in communities to communities, however I can help, however they can help me. We're all helping each other here. So yes, and with Ananda Marga, I met Amitabha during the Namaste.
Yeah.
So I was doing tarot reading at this event, and then he was like very curious. Of course, there's a little bit of like, what are you doing? Because there's a lot of, in an organizations, there are a lot of rules and stuff like that. So, but he had a tarot reading, and that time we kind of connected in a way that we always find people we are meant to find for us to be able to evolve and learn. And then I'm starting to kind of attend, but I'm not officially part of Ananda Marga. I'm just a friend.
So how did you get your new name?
Oh, my new name is not with Ananda Marga.
Oh, it's not. Okay. Where is it from?
It's a different grace from a guru, and I'm attending also
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, in the Chananda organization. So it's a Hindu organization as well in India, based in India right now. So I'm attending classes like 16 hours a day and for 21 days. So after the end of the program, you are able to have a grace of a spiritual name if you asked for it, So
you just completed that, or you're doing that at the moment, or?
I already completed it. You can redo it. Basically, they're there every day because that's an ashram life.
Right. Does that mean you're online for 16 hours, or you're doing the practices for 16 hours?
They're online for 16 hours. So you can stay online for 16 hours, or you can shut it off and then do your own practice. It's basically, they're just there like a church.
And so when did you get your name?
When does I post 2 weeks ago? Was it 2 weeks ago?
So it's almost the same time I got my name.
Okay, whatever.
No, I got mine on, I think, November 4.
Okay, so that probably that same time.
Interesting.
That's very interesting.
Okay. Oh, I thought it was with Ananda Marga, because I know a lot of people who used to come at Gassho, they also have Sanskrit names. So I think they got them from Ananda Marga. So how would you describe your practice at the moment? Like how much, you said you used to work 12 hours a day. Are you still doing that work at the moment?
No, it's totally like a different. If I look back 10 years ago, it's almost like I cannot recognize myself anymore.
Well, what about like 3 years ago?
Yeah, like 3 years ago, or even
when we met.
Even 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's different now. Right now, my life is basically I work an hour a day. An hour, 2 hours a day. I'm working with a company in Australia that pays my bills. So
you greatly reduced your workload
from 12 hours to now 2 hours a day, which is Monday, Thursday. So aside from that, I don't do any more work.
Wow.
And that pays my bills. So that's a big help, because I know it's not a secret that some healers are coming to me and they're kind of like, how to balance. I don't know. I feel like right now everything is provided for me by the grace of the divine. Like my work is provided. So I have more time now to be able to meditate, to practice, and to write, to connect with people, to have sessions. And that's my life now. Work 2 hours a day to pay my bills, and the rest is for divine,
Beautiful.
for praying, for contemplation, for meditation, for whatever I do. So that's my life.
What a complete change in a very short amount of time, actually, right?
Yes.
What would you say to someone who's asking questions, who's curious, who's don't realize that they're stuck in that space and want to make changes but are also skeptical and doubtful? What kind of advice? I'm sure you have those types of people come to. I mean, I definitely do. What do you tell them?
Do not hide from your fear. Follow your fear.
So beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And so, Cath, you're open to online sessions, things like that? Are you you're accepting clients like from all over? And what is the best way for people to reach out to you? Is it Instagram?
Yes.
Or
Facebook, Instagram, Facebook.
Prema. So you're still active on Facebook?
Messenger, not active on Facebook, but I'm on Messenger. I'm on Facebook from time to time. Cath Prema at gmail.com.
Yeah.
That's my email.
What kind of services are you focusing on at the moment? Who do you think your audience is, your target audience?
I don't have a target audience. Whoever comes to me, I feel like God sent them to me because we needed to work together.
So do you mean they're very diverse? I mean,
I'm very diverse, yes. Reiki session.
Are they mostly from the Philippines?
For now,
outside?
Friends of friends. So from Philippines, from India sometimes, from outside Philippines, mostly from the Philippines are my friends right now.
And are they men or women or half?
Mostly women. There are a few men, but mostly women.
Yeah.
Men are starting to come, but they don't like online session. They want in-person session because they just feel more safe. Reiki session, sometimes I do tarot readings, aura readings. I do remote scanning of energy, aura scanning. I do healing sessions, either shamanic or faith healing. I do chit chats also to be able to chit chats to be able to because it allows you to express, and when you express we can actually navigate what are your fears, what are the things that you are wanting, because in storytelling, when you tell a story and when you talk about what you are passionate, there's a lot of things that we can read about the energy and we can of use to you. So I do that.
Absolutely. And do you guys have with Gaia, you guys have regular sessions? Do you have weekly sessions now? Yeah.
Every Friday at 7 p.m. Philippine time, we do weekly gathering. Every Friday, we're just trying to bring in different techniques of meditation, different teachers to be able to a platform to gather together. And then, I'm also offering in-person sessions within Cebu. Hopefully outside Cebu.
So where would you do that? Do you have a space?
No. Basically, sometimes I arrange retreat. That can be arranged. Really depends on the call and the invitation from people, from the spirits, and however we can meet and make magic together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, teacher. And thank you for teaching me. You are
thank you.
You're my Reiki teacher, and you're the first person who kind of oh my God, it's all you're the person who kind of unfold this part of me, like instrument to become, to see. Like I told you, I met you first before I kind of delve into these things.
I don't think I unfolded. I definitely had a space available for you to do your own process. Yeah. I mean,
both, right? I think that's cool. I mean, without that, I could not even.
We don't know.
Your potluck message. Without your potluck message, I could even triggered about who are you? All the triggers are very important aspects and factors. So.
Triggers are great. Triggers are the best.
So I feel like we just have that connection. So anyway, thank you. Thank you so so much.
Well, I just want to quickly touch on what we were talking about, how Reiki is evolving. For me, it's changed enormously from when I first met you because I'm learning about Japanese Reiki.
Definitely.
And what I've been teaching, what I've been taught was more of a Western Reiki. And I'm realizing that Japanese Reiki is very shamanic, actually.
Yes.
And in the West, they tried to differentiate shamanic Reiki from Western Reiki, when in fact, shamanic Reiki has ties to the original, or how Usui's Reiki. So that's what I'm exploring at the moment. I feel like it's a whole different body of work and knowledge and energy. So I totally get it when you're saying that. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, I feel like Reiki is the essence of Reiki is the same, but the way we are receiving the teaching is also, where we are at that moment when we receive the teaching, our perception, our level of cognition and perception is this, we can only understand something.
Oh yeah, that's why it's all perfectly
and cognition. So keep evolving, keep growing, keep blossoming as you are, because Reiki by definition is universal life force, and
and like you said, it's timeless. I mean, it predated Usui Sensei.
And someone messaged me on Facebook, and he said, Sensei Usui is a Shugendo practitioner, which is shamanism in Japan.
Oh my God, yeah, it is. And I was talking to my sensei in Japan about Shugen. So okay, again. I don't want to get into this. I get really excited, but apparently Mikao Usui was a practitioner of Mikyo and Shugendo, which is an esoteric form of Buddhism. And then what happened was the government started outlawed those practices because they wanted Shinto to be the official religion. And so some of Usui's students, one of them is still alive, Suzuki-san, and she was saying that I think she was the one who was saying he kind of devised Reiki as a loophole to continue with Shugendo and Mikyo practices without the law shutting him down because he's like an alternate religion, Shinto.
Right.
So it's very, it's very magical with those roots in Buddhism, in esoteric Buddhism, magical Buddhism that was practiced by the monks in the mountain. So yeah, I love how even if we don't talk as often now, like I know that our downloads are very much in parallel. I don't know if you know that. Of course you know that. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, like doing like exactly the same thing. Yeah.
I just want to say how, we are saying about the Western approach of Reiki, that plays a very important role as well for Reiki to make it on mainstream. So
absolutely.
Everyone plays an important role in this divinity, in this divine existence that we are in. So it's just like we keep evolving and we keep growing, and it's a living tradition. It's not it's a living conscious thing. So like us, that we grow, it also grows from day to day. So yeah.
I had a class with Chris Lord this morning, and he had a quote from the Buddha. I don't have it right here, but it was something like the Buddha was saying, like, please discard all the teachings and the monks and the this and that. And the true teaching is what you've really experienced from yourself. And I'll look it up. I'll ask Chris to send it to me because it's kind of like that. And so, yes, we have teachers, we have forms that kind of help awaken things, right? Like what happened with you with level 1 attunement. And then the rest is so personal and so unique. And that's why, like you said, everyone plays that part in this gigantic, infinite orchestra in the cosmos. So, yeah. Wait, one last thing. We have ReikiCon December 4.
Yes.
And I'm so excited about that because it's our first Reiki conference in the Visayas. And it's going to be super, super magical and highly charged. And I want to share about Japanese Reiki there and do a little Shugendo Mikyo practices with everyone. Yeah, I'm excited to share that.
I'm so excited. Everything.
Thank you. Thank you, Cath Prema.
Thank you.
And I'll see you soon.
Yes, very soon.
Take care. Bye.